Hey class, today we're going to look at equations but part 2. We solved equations with mental math and we're trying to find the value of the variable in the equation. And then today we're going to look at that again and then solve equations using inverse operations. So just a little review of ratios quick. At the movies, the ratio of small popcorn to large popcorn is 4:9. For every blank large popcorn, there are blank small popcorns. So since the ratio was small popcorn to large popcorn was 4:9, that means for every 9 large popcorns, there were 4 small popcorns. At the baseball game, the ratio of hot dogs sold to hamburgers was 5:4. So that means for every hot dog to hamburger, so this is hot dog and then to hamburger, is 5:4. So for every 4 hamburgers sold, how many hot dogs were sold? And you would say there's 5. So for every 4 hamburgers sold, they sold 5 hot dogs. Remember that an equation is a mathematical sentence with an equal sign. And the solution to an equation was the value that makes the equation true. So let's see if these are a solution to the equation. If our first equation here is x plus 100 plus x equals 150, is x equals 30 a solution? So does 100 plus 30 equal 150? 100 plus 30 is 130, so those are not equal. So this is not a solution. How about in B? Is 16 equals 20 minus A? Is A equals 4 a solution? So is it true that 16 equals 20 minus 4? And that is true because 20 minus 4 is 16. So yes, this one is a solution to the equation. In C, we have 5 times P equals 150. Is P equal 30 a solution? So is 5 times 30 equal 150? Since 5 times 3 is 15, 5 times 30 is 150. So yes, this one is a solution. Translate this sentence into an equation and then we're going to solve it. Jenny is 5 years older than her brother Mark. If we let J equals Jenny's age and M equal Mark's age, then Jenny is 5 years older than Mark. So Mark's age plus 5. Because Jenny is older than Mark by 5 years. If Jenny is 12, so 12 equals Mark's age plus 5. If Jenny is 12, how old is Mark? Well, what number plus 5 would be 12? Hopefully you said 7, because 7 plus 5 is 12. So that means that Mark is 7. Tell the value of the variable to make this equation true. So we're trying to find what value would make the equation true in each. So this says what number subtract 5 would equal 15. So if you think about it, 15 plus 5 would be 20. So isn't it true that 20 minus 5 would be 15? So that means that M equals 20. What number times 2 equals 6? Well, I know that 3 times 2 equals 6, so that means that y equals 3. What number divided by 3 equals 9? I know that 27 divided by 3 equals 9, so P in this equation must equal 27. tell the value of the variable here. So here we have 2/5 and 1/3 equals m. I actually think that I forgot to change these examples are the same as from the last video, so we'll skip those for now. We'll do different ones in class. Use inverse operations to solve the following equations. The inverse of multiplication is division, and the inverse of addition is subtraction. So we're going to think backwards. So if I want to know what number plus 3 equals 7, I'm going to think, well, what is 7 minus 3? 7 minus 3 is 4. So if I want to solve this, I say, okay, it's a plus 3. So if I subtract 3 from both sides, I get m equals 4. And then I'm going to check it. So is 4 plus 3 equals 7? It does. So I'm using the inverse operation here because 3 minus 3 equals 0. And 7 minus 3 equals 4. X minus 5 equals 10. So what's the opposite of subtraction? Would be addition. So if I want to know what number minus 5 equals 10, I need to figure out what 10 plus 5 is. So if I add 5 to both sides, then X will equal 10 plus 5 is 15. So 15 minus 5 equals 10 is true. So X equals 15 is my answer. So I'm doing the inverse operations, and whatever you do to one side of an equation, you do have to make sure to do the same thing to the other side because you want to keep the equation what we call balanced. And I'm using the opposite, so the inverse operations. So here, this means 8 times G equals 16. So if I want to figure out what G is, the opposite of multiplying by 8 is to divide by 8. And remember we use the fraction bar to divide by 8. So I'm going to do that to both sides of the equation. Because on the left, 8 divided by 8 is 1. So I just get G equals, so these 8's cancel. And then 16 divided by 8 is 2. Now I can go back and check this because 8 times 2 is 16. So G equals 2 is my solution. The same thing over here. W divided by 5 equals 7. The opposite of division, the inverse operation is multiplication. So if I times both sides by 5 then, I'm going to get, this will cancel, and I get W equals 7 times 5 is 35. Let's check that one. 35 divided by 5 equals 7. That is true, so W equals 35 is my solution. So try solving a few equations using the inverse operations. Remember, multiplication and division are inverses, and addition and subtraction are inverses.